Spins News Network, where we get facts, not nonsense. So, due to high demand, I am making one right now. So the breaking news, kind of breaking news, so I just put it there. So after a 12-game skid, the Angels fired their manager, Joe Maddon, or relieved him of his managing duties, which is just a really professional fancy pants way of saying they fired him. So, yeah, Maddon might be known as the manager who led the Cubs to break their 108 year streak without a World Series in 2016. He was hired by the Angels in October 2019, and he's had a good roster to work with. He's had Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, but he hasn't really been able to put anything together, and after losing 12 games in a row, the Angels fired him. So, the Ukraine war. So, excuse me if I'm saying this, because I really... So, Russia's starting to seize parts of Severodonetsk. I think that's how you say it. So intense street fighting in Severodonetsk continues as Russia starts to seize the city, unfortunately, while air fighting is continuing in the Donbass region. A lot of air assault. Bodies are yet to be buried because Russia won't take them off the streets in Mariupol, and there's a lot of contaminated drinking water. It's spreading fears of a cholera outbreak. Russia is considering quarantining the city, so yeah, hopefully nobody gets sick there. Russia has said, and this is unconfirmed, but Russia has stated that it has opened a land corridor to Crimea, which was annexed by Russia in 2014, when the kind of a skirmish happened, not a full-on war, but I guess you can call it a war, which was annexed by Russia for citizens to pass through with food and goods, to pass to safety despite being under Russian control. And Russia is coming under increased fire for starting a global food crisis. For example, Ukraine and Russia are both big producers of wheat. Like, they bombed a whole grain plant, Russia, so they are coming under increasing fire. And then, yeah, and for starting a global economic crisis. So Russia coming under a lot of fire for those things. Coronavirus. So the numbers are starting to flatten out. So they said, be aware for any drops after Memorial Day. But then, like, it dropped 12,000 cases on Memorial Day, the average, but then it's been steady since then, which is good because hopefully we don't have a big summer outbreak as we're all heading off to camp and everything. And I really hope that we don't have a big summer outbreak. I don't want to get COVID 5 days before camp. I can't go to camp. Test positivity rate still high, but lower, and yeah, but look at that, just big drop, kind of started up, but dropping. The deaths are very low. We did unfortunately cross 1 million deaths here in the U.S., but only 260 deaths a day now from the coronavirus, which is very, very positive. It looks like it's not very severe anymore. If you get coronavirus, you probably won't feel a ton. It's just an annoying thing that will hang over your life and prevent you from just not being able to do things. So, yeah. So the economy, and we have a lot to cover here. Markets are rising up to date. They're rising from their year-to-date lows. S&P is up 6% from its low, as is NASDAQ. Oil is up to nearly $120 a barrel. So Goldman Sachs has predicted $140 a barrel. Will that too? I hope that doesn't happen because gas prices are high, $5 a gallon almost. There's been multiple oil analysts, and this was one big quote that I took from an oil analyst. I'm not sure what his name is. If oil goes to $150 a barrel, we are going into recession. So, anyway, S&P down 12.7% this year. This is good. They're rebounding from their highs. So I'm not an economic analyst. I can't exactly say, but I think it's good if the markets are up. Should be good. And the NASDAQ is also kind of rebounding from its high. But inflation and gas are really starting to strain budgets. It looks like inflation, the full report hasn't come out, but it looks like it may rise. The thing is that it looks like the economic growth is starting to slow, which isn't great, but also that could cool inflation down. Interest rates may be rising. The Commerce Secretary, Gina Ryan, under former Governor Rhode Island, said not much more can be done to lower gas prices, unfortunately. So, yeah, we'll see. MLB standings. So, So we'll start in the AL. The 5 teams currently making the playoffs are Yankees, Houston, and Minnesota, the division leaders. And then the 3 wildcard stops will go to Toronto, Tampa Bay, and Boston, which means that 4 AL East teams, as of now, will make the playoffs. The Angels on that 12-game skid, as I mentioned. They're 1.5 games out of the playoffs, yet they were well in the playoffs. But Houston has taken the division lead, as Minnesota Yankees are the best team in the MLB right now. As it stands on a record base, they're on a 6-game winning streak. The Mets and the Dodgers split a key series. Mets are technically leading by 1.5 games, but the Dodgers have also played less games, so that is a substantial difference. Just a small comment about my Cubs. We're doing okay. So yeah, that's basically the rundown. In the NL, the division leaders are the Mets, the Dodgers, and Milwaukee. The wild card teams, St. Louis, San Fran, and San Diego. I'll beat San Diego and Milwaukee, as well as the Dodgers and San Francisco, have not been doing great. Atlanta, last year's World Series champion, on a 5-game winning streak. Philly's on a 4-game winning streak. So those could be 2 teams that could rise up and take the spots of sort of teams that are starting to struggle. Minnesota, it's still got a decent division lead over Cleveland, I believe that's at 4.5 games. But it is 4-6 of the last 10 games. So that could get pretty fun. We're only a third of the way into the season, so I'm not going to make any big predictions now. But if I had to predict a World Series, Yankees against Mets. And since I live close to New York City, I might try and get a ticket for that one. NBA Finals. So it's the Warriors against the Celtics. So Game 1 and Game 2 already happened, full disclosure, and the Celtics won the first game and the Warriors won the second game. I actually predicted in my original predictions that it was going to be the Warriors to win the first game and the Celtics to win the second game. I think the Celtics will win the third and the fourth games. The Warriors will take on the fifth game, and the Celtics will win the sixth game 4-2, and Jason Tatum will be the NBA Finals MVP. It's been another presentation of Finn's News Network, where you get facts, not nonsense. Thank you for watching.